Cheers, welcome to my channel. Tony here. Tony's LPs are us. A nice JD and Coke, Coca-Cola, the real thing. Jack Daniels. This video is going to highlight this year's 2025 Record Store Day list. Things that I think are exciting. Things that I'm probably going to be looking forward to if I'm lucky enough to get in line early and find these at the stores, because some of these are extremely limited to maybe 1,000 copies. Here's the list. It's available for download. This is about 8 or 9 pages. I actually had to look up some of the prices, because they don't list prices. They do list quantities in some websites. So if I'm incorrect on some prices and quantity, don't shoot the messenger. I'm getting these things offline, and there's so many different websites with different lists. I was able to print these. Some of them aren't even printable, but I was able to get these printed, and I'm going to go over the highlights. I have some props with me that will illustrate things that are going to be available, reissues, or things that were never issued, or alternate versions of what was issued years ago. Since I'm one of those older guys, my list is going to tend toward, the classic era. Although there's things here for everybody. There's hip hop, there's alternative, there's even a Taylor Swift 7-inch, there's Gil Scott-Heron, there's jazz, there's rock, there's pop, there's CDs. Not a lot of CDs, but there's some CDs, and there's a lot of picture discs and live records that you usually get. So it's a pretty good list. Now, some of them I know are exclusive releases. Those are exclusive releases that will mean they're exclusive to Record Store Day, probably won't be repressed. So if you go down the list and you see exclusive as a key, that's something you might want to get on Record Store Day. Record Store Day first release, they may be reprinted later on. It's the first time Record Store Day has them. L is a limited run. I think they're all limited. Like I said, some are limited to 500, 700, 1,000, which is really nothing in the scope of how big Record Store Day has become. So this Record Store Day is April 12th, 2025, since that's the year we're in. And it's a pretty good list. I think it's one of the best lists I've seen. Cheers. So depending on your region of where you live in the States, this is a United States release. There may be the same in UK and Canada. I'm not really sure, but this is a United States list as far as I know. So I'm just going to go over the highlights and talk about things that I'm interested in and why. And I'm just going to go down this list. I'm going to put these in order because I got these out of order. And I have page 1, page 3, page 4, 6, and 7 and 8. So here we go. And like I said, I have my props and I have some notes, so excuse me if I look down. But once again, thanks for stopping in to Tony's LPs Are Us. We have the Elvis light lit. We can see we have some Doors. The Doors are featured again this Record Store Day list. It's not a live record. Usually it's a live record or some type of concert, but that's not the case this year, which is good because that's going to save me money. And here we have a classic inner from Columbia Records, and those I collect too. I did a whole video on inners. Maybe I'll post that on the back end of this as an end screen. So if you can't sleep tonight, it's my cure for insomnia. But it's really cool because I show all different inners from different companies: RCA, Polydor, Columbia, Stax, Blue Note, whatever is on that video. So let's start the list, and then I'll go over my props. And my props are only the original records that some of these are based on. This is page 1. We have Beck and George Harrison doing Be Here Now, Record Store Day Song of the Year. 3,000 copies are printed. They're also going to release a Zoetrope copy, which is actually a picture disc of this record, All Things Must Pass, the classic 3-record set, poster, booklet. This is the one of the newest releases. I'm probably going to pass on that because I don't need another All Things Must Pass, albeit a picture disc. And let me see, I think the price is about $100, which really isn't bad considering, you know, you have a 3-record set. I don't believe it's in a box. I believe it's just in plastic, hard plastic, where you can see through because it's a picture disc. So we'll get into that later. But the Record Store Day Song of the Year, which is on a 12-inch single, 3,000 copies, that's from this record, Be Here Now, All Things Must Pass, and Living in the Material World. So this year we're getting, and we're also getting a John Lennon, which I'll talk about. So this year we're getting 2 Harrison releases. Here's a nice prop, Concert for Bangladesh. There's the record. This has the insert in it. I showed it on a previous video. So we have that. This year we don't have any McCartney or Ringo as far as I know, or unless I missed it. But right now this list is, it might be a work in progress. You may get some added, you know, artists or added bands to this list. Another one I'm looking forward to is The Eternal Idol. That's a Black Sabbath release. And I believe that's an early Black Sabbath. That's $25. That's on Rhino release. Blue Cheer Junk, which is an LP. I don't know the number of presses on that, but Blue Cheer is cool. Blue Cheer is a great band. Another one, David Bowie, Ready, Steady, Go Live, Riverside Studios. That's limited to 6,400, and that's a 2-record set for $35. So that's going to be pretty good. There's a lot. 6,000 is a lot, so maybe your record store that is doing a Record Store Day may have it. There's an also Ready, Steady, Go companion CD to that concert, and that's only 3,000. I believe that was a live concert that was broadcast, so you could catch it on YouTube. It's Ready, Steady, Go Live, Riverside Studios 03. So I think that's online somewhere. Jeff Bridges, the actor, also has a Light in the Attic LP. I think it's the actor, right? Because he plays guitar. He sang on some of his movies, you know, country western movies. Slow Magic, 77 to 78. That's interesting. There's a lot of things on here. Patsy Cline. There's a lot of jazz on here. I'm just going over the things that I'm interested in. You got to remember, I'm very old, so the things I tend to highlight are things that I already have, or some older artists that things I missed, or live records that just released. This is interesting. There's a Ry Cooder, The Main Point Live 72. That's on Rhino. We have an Elvis Costello, Kings of America, live at the Royal Albert Hall. I've been to the Royal Albert Hall to see a Bond movie for the premiere. I've never seen a concert there. 2000, printed, don't know the price. There's also Willie Dixon, What Happened to My Blues. Don't know the number, but Willie Dixon's cool, and he's one of the forgotten or unforgotten legends of the blues, of chess blues. He wrote a lot of tunes for everybody, for himself, for Muddy, for Howlin' Wolf, played on Chuck Berry records, etc. So that's a cool release, and I'm glad that Willie Dixon's getting out there for Record Store Day. Then we have The Doors, Strange Days, 1967, a work in progress. And I'm going to show you some of my Doors I think I pulled. Here is the Ultimate, the 45 RPM from Acoustic Sounds, double record, all analog. Really, if you're going to go with that, if you're going to go with this record, that's the one to get. I think they're still in print. Here's an original stereo on the tin. Electra, Strange Days, really happy to have that. And here is a red label, Strange Days. And here's the inner. And I'll show you the actual inner and the back. Here's the back, Strange Days. So we're doing a work in progress. It's only one album, which is good because I have the box set of LA Woman, which is basically a work in progress for that session. So this must be similar. You're going to get the tracks as they develop in the studio, and they really sound good because it's first generation. It's right off the tapes, and I don't believe there's any tweaking or dubbing in this. And here's the inner with the lyrics, and there's the beautiful, excuse my fingers there, Mr. Record. There's the beautiful red Electra. Strange Days, one of my favorite. There's what's on here? Well, let's just see. Strange Days has Strange Days, Moonlight Drive, Strange, People Are Strange, When the Music's Over, 11 minutes. So, you know, what else can I say about that, right? And as indicated before, the 45 RPM, quality records, way to go. Okay, so next up in my list, like I said, I just did highlights. This list is available online. This is just my little highlight. Fleetwood Mac, there's 6,500 or so picture discs. If you're into that thing, I will not be getting that, but since it's Fleetwood Mac, I thought I'd mention it. Next up is a really nice one, which I kind of hinted at when I reviewed David Gilmour's latest album. This is an album, it's a 12-inch vinyl, so I believe it's an album on Legacy Recordings with Romani Gilmour, Between 2 Points, so it's his daughter, and I have to look into that, but that's really going to be something that I'm looking for because I think she made his last album. If you go back and watch my video on that, I really love her contribution, her instrument playing, and especially her singing. There's also a Peter Gabriel record, two double album. There's also a Jerry Garcia band, Don't Let Go, at the Orpheum Theater in San Francisco. Probably walked out of his house and did that. That's a 4-record set. Don't have a price, but I'm thinking that's about $100. You know, Record Store Day, the prices aren't exorbitant for what you get. We don't really know the quality. That's one of the problems of Record Store Day. Some of them are novelties. They're not really audiophile records per se. There's 2 Grateful Dead that I know my son will be interested in. On a Back Porch Volume 1, 4,000 of those. Don't know the price. I'm thinking $30 around. Grateful Dead, Beacon Theater, New York City, 6/14/76, a 5 LP box set. So I'll probably pick that up for Sean. We have 5,500 copies pressed, so I'm sure my record store will get that. There's a lot of jazz on here. There's, like I said, there's the Harrison and Beck. Now it's Beck, not Jeff Beck, but it's Harrison and Beck. So side one's Harrison doing Be Here Now, Record Store Day Song of the Year. And then I guess on the other side is Beck doing the same song. All Things Must Pass, the Zoetrope, which is a picture disc with fancy stuff on it. 2,300. It's a triple LP set. That's going for 100, which isn't bad. But you know, considering it's a picture disc, 3-record set. There's a nice Freddie Hubbard. I love Freddie Hubbard trumpet. On Fire Live from the Blue Morocco on Renaissance or Renaissance label. Three times LP, triple LP. There's a Robert Hunter. There's an Ice-T, you know, the hip-hop rap. There's also a Skip James, Hard Time Killing Floor on Sasachi Entertainment LPs. Don't know how many, don't know the price, but probably I'm thinking in the $25 to $30 range. There's an Elton John, which I'm interested in because this is Elton John live from the Rainbow Theater with Ray Cooper, but this is basically Elton John solo, Elton John at the piano, so this should sound really good. This is a 1-record set live. I don't think it's the entire recording. Maybe one day they'll release the entire recording. For you, female vocalists that are rhythm and blues, there's a Gloria Jones. There's a Judas Priest live in Atlanta. This is a cool one for me because I like Bruce. The Killers and Bruce Springsteen. My kids love the Killers. I'm not really a Killer fan, but Big John out there knows the Killers. Encore at the Garden Island. It's a 12-inch EP. So whatever Bruce did, I think my kids were there when the Killers were at the Garden, and the Boss came out. So that's cool. Don't know the price, don't know the number, but probably again in the $30 range. For you Dire Straits people, Mark Knopfler, One Take Radio Sessions, 3,000 12-inch EP. So that's only EP, but it's a 12-inch, so it's gonna sound good. No disco on this list, as far as I know. Could be disguised disco. I don't know. Maybe there's a Mahalia Jackson. That's not disco. That's gospel. This is one that I'm going to pick up, is the John Lennon and Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band from the, I believe it's a 1-to-1 concert he did for in New York. It was a charity event. It was a 2-show event. The entire concert hasn't been released. There's the album that has 10 tracks. I think there were 14 songs done, and then there was a matinee and a morning and a night show. So, but that's going to be released from this, and it's not on the record, is Power to the People. And here's my 45. So we're going to get Power to the People live at the 1-to-1 concert. And this is a EP, only 3,000 made. So I'm going to try to pick that up. This is the original Apple, but this is a studio from John. So that's going to be something I'm looking forward to. I also, just to show and to show here some of my Ballad of John Yoko picture sleeve. Here's from Double Fantasy, Beautiful Boys, Woman picture sleeve. Here is my Apple recording on green vinyl, Happy Christmas. I think I had a picture sleeve somewhere. Here is Yoko Ono, Loud. And here is on Geffen, Kiss, 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 Yoko Ono and John Lennon, Just Like Starting Over. So just brought some of those out when I pulled the Power to the People. But that's something I'm going to pick up. Don't know the price yet, but hopefully it's within the $20 range or $30 range. This is one I'm interested in, a Little Richard. Little Richard, Try Some of Mine on Brunswick Recordings. This is an EP. I don't know why it's an EP. Why don't they just put it out as a regular 12-inch? But there's a Nick Lowe, which I'm interested in. That's an LP. There's also, this is a good one for you Pink Floyders. Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets Echoes Live. Legacy Recordings, a 12-inch single. So that should sound pretty good. Hopefully it's a 45. If it's on 12-inch. Going down the list, we have a Nectar. We have the 50th anniversary of Nectar. There, this is one of my favorite Nectars. Was only available in the U.S. as an import. So there's only 1,000 made of that, of this new release. So 1,000 made of Nectar, that's going to be a hard one to get. But I'm thinking a lot of people not in my age bracket don't really know Nectar, and I have I interviewed the keyboard's wife on one of my videos I did about a year ago or so, and that's online if you're interested in that. She talks about her life with the keyboard player, and he is just a phenomenon, and that's Taff, the keyboard player, and she has some great stories about who came to see them once live. I also have Grant Parker and the Figs, the last rock and roll tour. Seen Grant Parker in really small venues a few times. Always love my Grant Parker. Only 700 made, a double LP. That may be in the $30, $40 range. Don't really know. This is going to be a good one. Alan Parsons, iRobot, Work in Progress, a 2 LP set. So that again will give you the evolution of that record in the studio 2 LP set. iRobot, I have an original. I don't have the new presses, but I have an original. That's probably people's favorite, Alan Parsons. You know, he was the engineer for Dark Side at Abbey Road Studios. So I, Robot is a single record, so this is a double record. So that should be pretty interesting. And that's 2000 made, so that's going to go fast. What this is this list, if you prepare early, sometimes I don't, but this time I am, you prepare early and you get in line early and you may get what you like. But you have to go to a record shop that puts out a really good selection. And I know a record shop that puts out a really good selection. I usually get in line around 5 o'clock in the morning. They open at 10 or 11. So, you know, a lot of coffee and a lot of Jack in line. This also has something strange here. Doc Pomus, who wrote a lot of songs for Elvis. Viva Doc Pomus, songs for Elvis, the demos. So that's what Elvis used to choose his records from. Elvis did not read music, so he would listen to the demo. And a lot of time, the artist who did the demo would do it in that style, and Elvis would just basically put his spin on it, but it was relatively the same as the demo. Okay, here we have a Lou Reed, Metal Machine Music, which was out of print. That's hard to find if you're into that. It didn't get great reviews. I forgot a lot about it, but there's a Rage Against the Machine, which looks good. There's 2,000 copies of Metal Machine Music, so that's a double record, 2,500. This is one that I'm really interested in. This is supposed to be all analog chain, cut from analog, and that is the Rolling Stones Out of Our Heads US, 6,500 copies. So you do have a good chance to get that. And if you don't know Out of Our Heads, it's one of their best albums. From Out of Our Heads came Satisfaction. And I'm bringing this out because this is the 50th anniversary of Satisfaction. This is cut from the original master tapes. So the tapes were available when this was cut. And this is a 12-inch, 45 RPM, basically an EP. I believe there's 2 tracks on here, 3 tracks on here, I'm not sure. Yeah, 3 tracks because it has the 2 B-sides. The USB side, which is Spider and the Fly, and I believe maybe I have it reversed, but the Under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man B-side. And this record, when you play this record and pick it up on eBay if you can, it's the 12-inch 50th anniversary. I've seen them on eBay. They're not that expensive. This thing rocks, man. You will think that Charlie Watts is in your house. That's how good the drums are mixed. So showed that because that's where Out of Our Heads came. And here's my original mono on the Purple Plum London label. These records are original. That's Out of Our Heads. And here's Out of Our Heads mono on the Red London label. And I'll just show you the back. If you don't know it, you could freeze it out and read those great liner notes. Out of Our Heads, asterisk, the Rolling Stones. And on here you have Satisfaction, Mercy, Mercy, the Under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man, the Spider and the Fly, The Last Time, I'm All Right. Just amazing. Just pick up this record on Record Store Day if you can. It's all analog. It's audiophile. Why they're doing this one record in an all they're telling you it's all analog. So hopefully we'll see other Stones records all analog for Record Store Day and for beyond. So that's a cool one. That's one I'm definitely going to try to pick up. Pharoah Sanders, Jazz on Strata East LP. Gil Scott-Heron on CD and LP. This is a good one. Sly and the Family Stone. Sly live is always fun. Just a great showman, great artist, great songwriter. I just listened to There's a Riot Going On. For my own personal reasons, I don't want to say why, but that's live at Westchester Cathedral, and that's a 1-record set. Don't know the quantity, but that's probably a $30 or $40 record, I'm thinking. We have Stone Temple Pilots live in New Haven. That's about a $35 record. There's 3,500 press. It's a double LP, so that's a pretty good deal. Taylor Swift Fortnite, a 7-inch vinyl, probably in the $19 to $25 range. It's only a single. That's going to go fast. So there's going to be a lot of Taylor Swift fans in line this year. And I'm going to probably get in line early and interview them for our channel, Tony's LPs Are Us. And once again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for subbing and all that other good stuff. Here we have Talking Heads live on tour. It says 8,000 made, so that's going to be pretty easy to get, probably $40. Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy, alternate version, 6,000 copies. 13th Floor Elevators live. That's pretty cool if you know the 13th Floor Elevators, one of the early psychedelia bands. That's 4K on that end. Don't know the price. And I also have on here a War, Why Can't We Be Friends, 50th anniversary. Did not pull my original out. That's a 3LP set, 2,200. So a 3LP set, it's got to be chock full of stuff. And hopefully the tracks are elongated. There's extended tracks, because that's what I really love about War. This is one that I'm really interested in. It's the Dark Side of the Moon redone by Waters that happened, I guess, a year or two ago, which I really liked. I reviewed it. I really liked the record. Here I have, it's a double record on, I guess, some type of red vinyl. But I love this record. I didn't think it was, I didn't think it got the love it deserved. But I really liked it. But the cool thing about this, we're going to get the Dark Side of the Moon redo or redux live as a 2-record set live. And that's first time it's available as a standalone. It was available in a box set, but now it's available as a standalone. Don't know the price, 2,000 made, you know, maybe $40, record store day. We really don't know. There's a Yes live at the Rainbow London in England from December 16th, 72. That's a triple record set for you Yes fans. There's also a nice Tull compilation that's coming out, a 2-record Tull set. And this is a cool one, a 4LP set. Warren Zevon, the late great Warren Zevon, the Giant Years. So don't know what that entails, and don't know how much that's going to be or the numbers, but there you have it. So power to the people. We've got Doors, Stones, Pink Floyd. We have Nick Mason. We have Talking Heads. We have Lennon. We have Harrison. We have Yes. We have War. We have Pharoah Sanders. We have Freddie Hubbard. We have Taylor Swift. So it's going to be a great. Don't know if there's any disco on here. Not that disco sucks, but don't know if there's a Donna Summer on here or anything. So that's it. But thanks a lot for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. We really appreciate it. And the lists are available online. I also did a short, which I posted the list, and you could freeze out each page if you want, and you'll see my my scribbling notes on some of them that I highlighted. So this is just my highlight. There's so many good records out. You really have to budget your money. You really have to budget your time and know what you want when you get into Record Store Day line. And if you can't get there by yourself, bring someone else with you, because 2 are better than 1. So keep rocking and start saving that money for Record Store Day. Ciao.